everybody. This is the very first Adobe Analytics user group. And this year, Adobe Analytics user groups will be rolling out regionally. There'll be one in the West, one in the East, and here in the wonderful Central. So yay! So thanks for coming here and listening to our Central kickoff. And the purpose, let me get over here. The purpose of these Adobe Analytics user groups is to build communities where networking, problem solving, and just learning more about Adobe Analytics and learning it from each other, because that's always like a really great way to learn, I think, is understanding and hearing how someone else did it and what worked for them and what didn't work for them. And so that's what we'll be able to do here. So I'm really excited about that. One of the things we do need to talk about, little legal stuff here is, so while these are communities for each other, for us here, we do want to kind of shy away from maybe doing pitches or sharing contacts or even like stories outside of the group without getting that person's consent. So just some little ground rules. That's always nice. But so with this kind of like don't do out of the way, we can talk about the cool stuff. So not only is there learning from each other and networking, but these groups are supported by Adobe. So we will have opportunity for some really cool Adobe giveaway. So everybody loves Adobe swag. And we have the opportunity for amazing guest speakers from Adobe, like the Ben Gaines, to join our events. And so for the Central group here, Gretchen, Luke, and I are super happy to be the coordinators. And so Gretchen and Luke, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves if you like. Gretchen, you want to go first?
Sure. My name is Gretchen Muir, and I have worked with Adobe for almost 15 years about or so. I specialize more on kind of the data reporting analysis side. So, Workspace power user, report builder, ad hoc. And then I leave, the technical stuff to people like Sarah, because Sarah and I work together a lot. So currently at H&R Block right now. And I spent a little time away last year from Adobe, and I regretted that a lot. So I'm happy to be reunited. So, Luke?
Sure, appreciate that. So I'm Luke. I'm one of the coordinators here for the Analytics user group. Currently work for AT&T on the business side. I am, so I've been with AT&T for 6 years. Before that, I worked for Neiman Marcus for almost 10 years. And I've worked in the Adobe Analytics space for 10 years. When I was at Neiman Marcus, I did a lot of the deep dives, working the clickstream, things like that. Here at AT&T, I work a lot with the UI, work with various other crews, whether it's user training, also do work on the DMP in the ad technology. For our DMP, luckily we're able to leverage Audience Manager, so get to play with both the DMP and with the analytics. So it's just great.
Awesome. Thanks, Luke. And Kelsey, I am going to shoot a question to you really fast. Alex was saying like they don't have camera and mic access, and eventually we do. I would love to see everybody. So if we could get them camera access, that'd be awesome. And then we would love to talk to Ben. So if they could have mic access too, that would be awesome. I'm just not quite sure how to do it. So thanks for helping out.
Yes, I will make sure to ping Jake, who's on the line, for Bevy support.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Sweet. Okay. And then my intro, I am Sarah Owen. I live here in Kansas City, Missouri, originally from Nebraska. So go Big Red. And like Gretchen, I've been working with Adobe Analytics for like 15 years, which makes me sound kind of old. So yeah, I started with this like when I was 10. But I do absolutely love everything to do with the data collection piece of it. And like Gretchen, I greatly appreciate those who can take the data that I get to collect and make beautiful reports out of it that drive the business. So awesome. And normally, this is where we go to this next slide and we go around and meet each other. But there's quite a few today. And, so we'll definitely do an upcoming event. And for today, I think we want to totally jump to Ben as soon as possible. So without further ado, let me introduce Ben Gaines. All right, Ben, take it away.
Hey everyone, can you hear me? Thumbs
We
up.
can.
Hey,
Mhm.
awesome. Thanks for having me. This is cool. I've never done one of these before, so I hope that hope we can come back sometime, and maybe even in the future there will be some in-person events. Maybe we can do some in-person meetups at Summit or something. Who knows? But this is cool. It's what are we up to? 72 Adobe Analytics enthusiasts, which is awesome. And I see some names I know, and it's good to at least be on a call with you. I was going to say good to see you, but I can't see you yet. Maybe I'll be able to see you sometime in the next few minutes. But good to see some names I know. And for those that I haven't met and I hope to meet sometime, I'm Ben. I'm Director of Product Management for Adobe Analytics. My team mostly looks after the front end tools as well as the reporting engine that sits underneath the tools that you all use. So work with our engineering and design teams to come up hopefully with the future of the product, and that's what I think I'm here to talk to you all about today. So should I just what do you want me to do? Should I start sharing and walk through?
Yes, and I can stop sharing right now.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool. So Sarah and the group had asked me to talk about a little bit about what's coming in 2021 for Adobe Analytics, and so I will do that. I don't know if it's going to make me. Let's see if this works. Yeah, I've got to go into system preferences and give Ed access to the thing. Give me just a second.
No problem. Oh, I see in the chat, Nate's being funny. Nate and Gretchen and I worked together before. He's saying 72 unique visitors. So I love the analytics humor.
Let's see. I hope this will work. I didn't. Let's see.
Oh, and then Alex is trying to trip you up. How many unique visits? I love it. You guys are making my day.
This is definitely an Adobe Analytics crowd. I love it. Are you all seeing my screen?
Yes. What's common in Adobe Analytics? Sweet.
Okay. Awesome. So the reason I'm in product management is that I love to think about the future of analytics, and as I mentioned, my team is responsible for the tools that you all use every day, and hopefully we're attuned to a lot of the things that you're facing in your businesses. And obviously it's been a crazy last 12 months, and what your businesses are facing has changed in many cases.
Mm-hmm.
And we've tried to anticipate a lot of those shifts as much as we can with what we're working on in the product over the next year. And this isn't a full sort of roadmap presentation, but I want to talk about kind of what we're seeing and how we're interpreting the world, and would love to have your thoughts. And I will share some of the things that we have coming on the product roadmap, sort of a subset of things that I thought you all would be excited to hear about. So let's dive into it. So first, we were fortunately really busy in 2020. And this is, I think, everything that we released. And I had to go all the way down to 11-point font to put it all onto one slide. And this is with obviously no descriptions. I highlighted the things that I was most excited about. And it's always, it's good whenever we're talking about the upcoming year, it's good to take a little bit of a look back at some of the things that we've done in the last 12 months. And just, when you put everything on a slide like this, you really get a sense for how much new stuff, some of it big, some of it really small, has gone into the product. And I should add that this is only when we do kind of roadmap planning and as we're tracking roadmap items in Jira, which we use for our for planning our roadmap and our releases, we have a label. We label things either customer facing, which is stuff that we think you all are actually going to be able to use, and then there are non-customer facing roadmap items that our engineering team spends time on, and those are things like product stability, product uptime things, upgrading data center operating systems, and stuff that just doesn't affect the functionality in the product, but is critical to keeping the product running. And I think we've all there is certainly an emphasis on reliability, as we look at our roadmap, and so there are a lot of things that aren't even on here, that aren't customer facing, quote unquote, but that hopefully you haven't noticed, because hopefully what it means is that you've been able to log in and get access to data as quickly as you need to, and that performance has been reasonably good. So this is probably like a third of all of the quote unquote roadmap items that our engineering teams have been working on over the last 12 months. I won't go through them, but again, I highlighted kind of my favorites, and if any of you have any questions about what those are, or want more detail on them, just throw a note in chat, or maybe one of the other members of the user group can help you out and point you to some documentation or YouTube videos or whatever. So cool. Let's talk about what's coming. So we kind of take this statement as sort of the way that we organize the product roadmap. It's not exactly a vision statement, but it's a way of just putting into one sentence the role that we hope Adobe Analytics will play in the future in your organization. So Adobe Analytics will be the core system of intelligence, meaning that it will provide intelligence to you, and it will do that a number of ways. We often think about AI and ML, but it could even just be through better segmentation, better ability to derive insights. Anything that helps you derive insights from data falls under this category of system of intelligence, I think. For the experience business, enabling anyone in the enterprise. So we see a continuing need, and in fact an accelerated need for more teams. If there was one thing that I think I noticed in 2020, it was that we had more different teams needing data, whether it's from Adobe Analytics or other tools. We started to hear a lot more from product teams, engineering teams, newsrooms, others that's a trend that we had observed for years, but it really accelerated in 2020 for whatever reason. To understand and optimize, so actually, taking the data and making it do things for you, not just, insights are great, and they certainly help you drive change in your organizations. But there is a different kind of value that's available when insights can be immediately turned into action somewhere, and so we want to support that. So optimize customer interactions with their brand across all touch points in real time and at massive scale. So across all touch points is maybe in terms of our roadmap, probably the biggest shift that we've had. Sorry, was there a question, or I don't can't tell if someone's asking a question or just not on mute. But
probably the second. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. If there are questions that people have, and you see them in chat, I can't see anything but my PowerPoint screen right now. So feel free to jump in if there are.
As I see questions in chat, I'll bring them up.
Great, thank you. I was going to finish. So across all touch points. So our biggest. Oh, am I missing a slide? There was a slide I wanted to throw in here. Hang on, let me hop at it. Yeah, it's hidden. There we go. All right, let's go back here. Okay, so across all touch points, you all, if I were to ask for show of hands, how many of you contribute data to a data lake or an EDW of some kind? I'm sure it would be 95 or 100%. those are ubiquitous and they're not going away. But we think that with Analysis Workspace and the fluidity of analysis that it allows you to do, we have an opportunity to bring customer touch points together in Adobe Experience Platform and allow you to explore cross-channel customer data in the same way that you've learned to explore digital data in Analysis Workspace and in Report Builder and our mobile app and so on and so forth. And so that's what that across all touch points is all about. And we'll get into that on the very next slide, which was the one that I unhid. Many of you have probably heard by now about customer journey analytics, which is, as I tried to convey this as like, you know, when a subway train takes its alternate route. I don't know if that's a useful, like there's nothing to be read into that analogy other than that it seemed like a good way of visualizing what's happened here. When we released Analysis Workspace in 2015, we immediately started to hear people say things like, I want to use this for all of my BI use cases or all of my customer journey analysis use cases, but it just doesn't have all of the data that we need, right? It's got web and app data, and even then those channels are separated. But we want to be able to bring in call center, point of sale, logistics data, in some cases, CRM data. But we want to do it in Analysis Workspace. And so we, late in 2018, really, I could say the start of 2019, we introduced Customer Journey Analytics, which is a new offering. It's a new product. It's built on a lot of the Adobe Analytics technology that you know, but it has a brand new reporting engine that sits underneath it. So all of the great attribution and segmentation and calculated metrics and all of the things that you love in Adobe Analytics, we've up-leveled all of those things in this new reporting engine. We can handle more data, more cardinality than we've ever been able to handle before, unlimited dimensions, unlimited metrics. You can stitch, you can bring in, of course, bring in offline sources of data and tie those to online sources and show the impact, for example, of poor web experience on call center volume, or show people browsing product online and then purchasing the product in store or what have you. And so customer journey analytics, we really we view as long-term the future of Adobe Analytics. And it's not a mistake that there are two arrows here, one for customer journey analytics and one for Adobe Analytics. We are continuing in 2021 to invest in both products. And a lot of the time, what's great is that an investment in one pays off in the other. So for example, one of the things that we're going to talk about is in Analysis Workspace, we want to improve performance. We want queries to come back faster. We want it to feel snappier for you. And we've heard a lot of feedback that at times Analysis Workspace really bogs down. Fortunately, we've got a number of plans in place to address that problem, and it will apply in both Customer Journey Analytics, which will get faster, and Adobe Analytics as well, which will get faster. And so there's kind of we kind of have this dual track roadmap, but there's a lot of overlap between the two, which is great, I think, for everyone. We're able to execute on what we think is the future of Adobe Analytics and cross-channel data and exploration of stitched cross-channel data, and also improve the experience for everyone who's using Adobe Analytics and hasn't adopted Customer Journey Analytics yet, which is probably all of you, given that Customer Journey Analytics is a very new product. We have had great adoption. But it's still nascent, and even after a year, these things don't typically take off fully in 1 year. So if using Adobe Analytics tools on cross-channel stitched data sounds interesting to you, this is the closest I'm going to get to a sales pitch. This tool is available, like generally available. You can buy it. It's an add-on to Adobe Analytics. So talk to your account team at Adobe, and they can can tell you more about it. But I think the reason I have this in here is that it's impossible to understand what we're doing in 2021 without that background of our increased focus on customer journey analytics as kind of the future direction of the product. And so if there's one thing to take away in terms of what we're doing in 2021, it's that we are working vigorously to allow you to, to improve your ability to bring any channel of data together with your digital data, which we already have, and stitch it together and explore it quickly and in whatever way you want, with all of the segmentation and attribution, et cetera, that we've got. So that is the big overview. Now, in terms of looking at that sentence that I had up on the screen in the previous slide, we do kind of break the roadmap and our what we're up to in 2021 down into these categories. So system of intelligence, I think if there's one thing that we noticed in this area in 2021, it's that everyone has reports and dashboards now. Every role that we can think of is using some sort of a BI tool or other, sometimes homegrown dashboarding solution to get data into the hands of people. But intelligence is dashboarding and intelligence are not synonymous. And so, with all of the data that you are now collecting, which is growing probably exponentially for many of you year over year, there is an increased need to derive intelligence from that data. And I mentioned this is sometimes machine learning. It's sometimes other analysis capabilities that we add to the product to help you derive intelligence from your data. But I'm gonna talk about three things that we're doing here. So Adobe Analytics Labs is something that's already available. Many of you probably have seen it. It's an environment that allows the Adobe research team. We have as many big technology companies do, we have a team of PhD researchers all over the world who are digging into really hairy problems. And those fall into a variety of categories, from algorithmic attribution to forecasting to data smoothing and even experiential things like how do we make segmentation easier for people. And Labs gives us a way to have those research teams build prototypes and then let you use those prototypes on your own data. The reason this is on here for 2021 is that we are investing heavily with our research team to bring more prototypes through the Labs experience. And if you haven't played with Labs, it's in the shell, the black shell at the top of Adobe Analytics. You can click Labs, and there are always 3 to 5 prototypes, and they come and go. And the great thing is, as I mentioned, you can use them on your own data, and you can give us feedback directly, and that helps us understand what to prioritize. And we've had a couple of things that have come through Labs and have made it into the product. Algorithmic attribution is one. I'm spacing the other one right now, but it's so check out Labs, because there will always be new things coming in and going out, and your feedback will be instrumental in helping us understand which of those things is going to best give you intelligence, give your organization intelligence. Intelligent alerts is getting I would say we're planning to realize the vision of intelligent alerts. When we talk about intelligence, a lot of the time we talk about this idea of unknown unknowns, and like, how do we help you find the insights that live in the data, but that you would just never think to look for unless you happen to stumble across it. And with alerting, a few years ago when we built Intelligent Alerts, we gave you the ability to set up to run alerts using anomaly detection. So we hopefully decreased false positives and made the alerts more meaningful, because they represented an actual statistically significant change in some business metric. But you had to manually set up all of those alerts. with our focus on intelligent alerts in 2021, we will use your company's own usage of Adobe Analytics and your personal usage of Adobe Analytics to make intelligent guesses at the alerts that might matter to you. And then you will be able to give the system feedback on whether an alert was meaningful. Hey, I didn't set up an alert. I hadn't manually set up an alert on email registrations, but email registrations spiking for this segment of customers is actually something I really care about. So good job, Adobe. Or you can tell us that alert wasn't meaningful. A spike in unique visitors. I don't really care about that. Don't alert me on that next time. And so the system will actually get smarter, and it will serve smarter and smarter alerts to you as you give it more and more feedback. And this is something that those of you who are admins in Adobe Analytics, you'll be able to roll this out as you desire to your stakeholders or not. But always something we've wanted to do with intelligent alerts, and we're I think getting really close to that becoming available to you. And then third, just to give you a.
We have a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
The question is, will we be able to have alerts on items that didn't happen? For example, love to know when one of my 734,000 web pages do not get any visits within a 3-month period.
That's a great question. That functionality won't change with this update. So this is more about like automatic generation of alerts, but the alerts themselves, like what you can be alerted on, won't be changing here, at least not yet. But that's great feedback.
Okay. And then another question would be, let's say for some report suites, there's multiple platforms on there, and you use a lot of segments to filter out for your segment. How will alerts work for something like that?
Yeah, that is one that I don't actually know. I'm not I happen to not. My team is not building this one, but let me see if I can get an answer for the group on that. If you wouldn't mind just jotting that one down and taking a note of it, and you can remind me, that'd be great.
Sure. Another question came in. Will alerts learn our business cycles over time?
That is part of the intent. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to promise that in like the first sort of the 2021 update here, but the hope is that alerts become more intelligent, more contextually intelligent over time, and start to learn about seasonality. I mean, there's a little bit of that built in with things like, that there are holidays that we take into account, and there are depending on how seasonal we're talking, the look back window for anomaly detection may or may not cover the swings in your business, but we want that algorithm to advance over time, and we're working with our machine learning engineering team to gather those requirements.
I think this is a great topic. Seems like a lot of interest in alerts, so a lot of usage. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great questions, you all. Last thing, real quick, just all of these things we've been talking about are coming into customer journey analytics. So we've got anomaly detection in there now. We'll be bringing contribution analysis and improving it, by the way, in the process. More on that later. We're still working through kind of what that will mean, but we know that contribution analysis needs to be easier to use and easier to get insights out of. So be improving that. Segment comparison, intelligent alerts, and so on and so forth will be coming to customer journey analytics as well.
Another question came up. Within the workspace, is there any plans on adding folders?
That is that's a great question. We've talked about that at length. We want to do it. It's something that we haven't gotten to. I don't want to. I want to neither promise it nor say that it's not going to happen, if that's possible. It's something I definitely want to see, and as we see companies building up more and more a larger set of analysis workspace projects, there's clearly a need for better sorting and organization. So we will do our best. Okay. Next, oh, I forgot I had a slide for that. I guess okay. Sorry, I could have had you looking at this slide. There's not that much to see here, so we will move on. Hopefully I can remember what slide I have in here for this next one. So anyone in the enterprise, I mentioned that everyone has data. Everyone has a dashboard. We still here, in fact, I think there was like I can't remember who did the study, but I saw it cited in Harvard Business Review last year that something like 68% of CEOs still feel like their companies don't have a data-driven culture or data-informed culture. And that's despite everybody having access to Tableau and Power BI and Domo and whatever. We see more and more teams, as I mentioned, that are looking to do real analysis. And that's hard. It's hard. It's hard on digital data in particular. There are so many dimensions and metrics to make sense of. There's a lot that we want to do here to make it easier for people. And this is something we've been working on for years, for probably as long as I've been in product management, and that we'll continue to work on. And we had a number of things in 2020 that were aimed at making it easier for people to log in, do their own analysis, or work with an existing analysis that you've created, and take those insights, take those learnings back to their tasks, to their world. Specifically for 2021, I mentioned performance improvements. If you are feeling like Analysis Workspace is not, and sorry, I spend most of my time with Analysis Workspace, not necessarily only Analysis Workspace, but if you feel like the Adobe Analytics tools have gotten slower, or you're not able to, even if you haven't noticed a change, but you feel like they could be returning insights faster to you, we agree. And there are a number of things that we are going to be implementing, from some intelligent caching, which you'll have control over, to streamlining the JavaScript that builds Analysis Workspace, to API improvements. There's a lot that we're going to be focused on in 2021 to make querying and generation of insights and building of Analysis Workspace projects and other things faster. I'm going to imagine that if you all had microphones on, you'd be clapping right now.
Gretchen and I will clap for you. So, yay! Woo! We are excited.
We have a couple more questions that have come in. The first one is some of the amazing 3D visualization that's from Ad Hoc. Will any of them be coming into Analysis Workspace?
If what you're talking about is the what was it called? The thing with the flowing arrows. What was that thing called?
Yes, that one.
That one. We congratulations. You are the one user in North America, I think, who uses that thing. I'm exaggerating slightly, but we made just a strategic decision not to move that one over, because usage of it in ad hoc analysis, even like on a per user per capita basis, was just extremely low. So sorry to disappoint. And I know that visualization it was neat, and it, like, if you knew what you were doing, it could produce some really interesting learnings. And like I remember back in the day getting pretty good at it. But even at the peak of ad hoc analysis usage, it was not very popular. And so it just we have to focus on the things that are more commonly used. So that will die a sad death.
So So, some
necessary.
sad faces on that one.
Sad faces.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
multiple sad faces. So there's more than one user of that tool in
Yeah.
the US. That's good to
Um,
know. Sorry, I should be more I guess more empathetic.
and the other question that came in was, are there any plans to sunset the old reporting? So I'm assuming that's the old reporting and analysis.
Yeah, that's a very interesting topic. I don't know if we have time for that. Short answer is not imminently, but a member of my team is doing a round of research right now on what should the future of pre-built reporting be in customer journey analytics and as well as in Adobe Analytics. Clearly, I don't think it'll come as a surprise to anyone on the call. We're not, we're of course maintaining and fixing bugs and things in reports and analytics, but we're not investing in it from a roadmap perspective very much at all. And we think it can be done better. So let me put it this way. There is very clearly a user need for pre-built reporting, to be able to come in and just run a campaigns report or a products report and just start from there. And maybe that's all you need, or maybe you use that as a jumping off point for deeper analysis. That need clearly exists, and we need to figure out the best way to serve that need in the future. So if you are interested in talking about that, I can definitely connect you with a member of my team who's putting together kind of a strategy for how we should handle that over like a 3 to 5 year time horizon.
I'll probably follow up with you, Ben. I'll connect Matt with you. So
yeah.
Okay. And another question came in was, is the intent to have customer journey analysis replace data workbench? And if so, will there be more focus on making the CJA more user friendly?
Well, so that is a great question. The easiest answer is yes. That we hope that in time, customer journey analytics serves the use cases that data workbench had served. We think, and have some early signal that it's starting from a place of, at least from an analysis perspective, much better usability than data workbench has ever had. Data workbench is it's a difficult tool to learn to work with, but it does some really amazing things that we've explored. We had a prototype that allowed you to, they call it visual query in data workbench, but you click any line item and it segments the entire workbench, I guess you'd call it, by that value, and you can kind of build like ad hoc segments that way. And we've explored doing that in Analysis Workspace. And again, Analysis Workspace is the primary analysis interface in both customer journey analytics and Adobe Analytics. So short answer is yes to both of those questions. There are plenty of things that today are still unique to Data Workbench, and we don't have any plans to end of life Data Workbench or anything like that. But we do hope over time that becomes a nice sort of a carrot migration rather than a stick migration. That as you see what you can do in customer journey analytics and connecting it to Adobe Experience Platform and activating segments and all of the great things that we can do, plus that it's a more user-friendly interface and set of tools that you'd want to move from Data Workbench.
So speaking of Data Workbench, one of the features I really liked in Data Workbench was Derive Dimensions.
Yeah, that is, I think, 2 or 3 slides from this one. I don't know if I mentioned it specifically, but we do want to reproduce the concept of Derive Dimensions and give you allow you to kind of build dimensions post implementation, kind of in the same way that you kind of calculated metrics for dimensions, if you will. So that's it's definitely something we're thinking about. Couple other quick things around on this topic. The Adobe Analytics Dashboards mobile app will be coming to Customer Journey Analytics, I think, next month. So, which I think is like, it doesn't sound that exciting, but I think it really is, because all the great things that you all are able to do with Adobe Analytics today, and share with maybe your chief marketing officer, your VP of marketing, maybe a head of e-commerce, that kind of a role. That's all great. Once you start talking about cross-channel data and bringing in point of sale, call center, CRM, et cetera, the set of executives that can benefit from an on-the-go, relatively real-time, not seconds, but minutes, view into the state of the business becomes much bigger. And I think you start to be able to have the work that you are doing in Analysis Workspace and with the mobile app become applicable to just a much larger and even higher level set of people in the organization. And again, with all of the controls that you have in the mobile app today, where you're curating down the set of KPIs, the breakdowns that can be done. So it's all very controlled, but you can, you start to have many more executives that are interested in what you're able to do. And then last but certainly not least, this is something that we've wanted to do for a long time, and that probably many of you have asked for, embedding images in Analysis Workspace. So company logos, screenshots of your website or your mobile app, photos of products that you're analyzing, whatever you want. The only catch, and this is coming, by the way, this week, I'll be there on Thursday in Analysis Workspace. The only catch is that for now, the image has to be hosted somewhere else. We're not hosting images. We know you're inevitably going to want that. It's going to be a hassle to find those images on the internet or find a place to host them. But we got very clear signal from people who had tested this that it's better to get an early version now. And if you can't find hosting, maybe you don't use the feature yet. But if you're able to host those images somewhere or pull them from elsewhere on the internet, you can start taking advantage of this today. And then as we add the ability to host those images, you'll be able to do that.
Okay.
Cool.
I had another question come in. Is there someone at Adobe I can connect with to discuss the Adobe Analytics connector and Power BI?
There is. If you remind me, I'll connect you with a product manager on my team. And again, this is not a roadmap presentation. This is more of a kind of a vision of what's coming in 2021. It's not to say that we're not thinking about Power BI connectors or improvements to Report Builder or what have you. But anyway, good call. Okay. Once again, I forgot that I had another slide here, so I'm just going to skip that. Optimize, taking the data and making it do things. The big thing here is that with both cross-device analytics, which is visitor stitching for digital data across web and app, and for customer journey analytics, we want to enable segment publishing, similar to what you've had today, where you can find an insight, take a segment, and publish it for use in Adobe Target, Adobe Campaign, Ad Cloud, etc., Audience Manager. With customer journey analytics, the way that you will activate, these segments once they're published is through the real-time CDP in Adobe Experience Platform, unified profile. It's the use cases are similar, but with many more places where you can personalize and target based on the insights that you're finding in customer journey analytics. With cross-device analytics, which is in Adobe Analytics Ultimate only, you will still be able to publish to the kind of the traditional tools that I mentioned: Target, Audience Manager, etc. And then the other. Oh, sorry. Is there a
Nope.
question? No. Okay. So the other thing that's in this category I think because of its impact on the data that you use to build those segments, maybe because it didn't fit anywhere else, is that we are still migrating customers, Adobe Analytics customers, to our new classifications backend. This backend, for those who don't know, it's sometimes codenamed Taxonomist. Internally, it allows you to when you upload classifications or when classification rules run against your data, that data becomes available for reporting much, much faster. So if you've got very large product catalogs or lists of campaigns or things that take a long time to kind of be fully processed by the classifications backend today, this migration will help you out a lot. And if that's something that you are, as probably everyone will say that they're interested in this, I can, maybe the thing to do would be to have, maybe the next time you meet, have the product manager for classifications come and talk about that migration and kind of the benefits of it. I'm sure he'd be happy to do that. I don't think I can send 72 people his way, but if you feel like it's a hugely pressing need for you, then we can get in touch and we can talk about it. So, okay, I'm gonna finish the last one, which is in some ways the most important one, real quick, and then we can do any other questions that you all have. Hopefully, you've seen that this idea of cross-channel data, bringing together data sources that we've never had in Adobe Analytics before, runs throughout our roadmap and our plan for 2021 in the future. Again, it's not to compete with or even to duplicate really your enterprise data warehouse or your data lake. The focus that we have is on customer data, on customer touch points, event data that helps us sequence and understand the customer journey and the impact of one channel on another. And really, what makes this work is an interface that allows anyone in the organization, whether you know SQL or not, you can do 80 or 90% of what you would ever need to do with SQL just by dragging and dropping some elements onto a canvas in Analysis Workspace. So it's not the idea of bringing data together that's unique here. It's what you can do with that data once it's all in one place in Adobe Experience Platform. And also, as we have on the third bullet here, doing all of this in a privacy-centric way, which I know is like a cliche at this point from every vendor that you ever talk to. Everyone's talking about privacy, but we have a team dedicated to privacy and making sure that we are complying and helping you be compliant, and that we're doing all of this very much. We're trying to be ahead of every privacy change that takes place in the industry, anticipating them, and always erring on the side of thinking about privacy first. Which, again, the proof will be in the pudding. Data Repair API is something we did last year that allows you to, for the first time, cleanse your Adobe Analytics data. This is in Adobe Analytics, not Customer Journey Analytics. Cleanse your data of, if you accidentally passed PII or sensitive data or something that you just don't want in your data set for whatever reason. We have an API now that allows you to cleanse that data. Which before required a consulting engagement, and they had to reprocess everything, and it took forever and was stupid expensive, and it was just not good. So you have this API now. We are going to be updating this API in 2021 with a focus on surgical precision. You will be able to, if you want to delete one path element from a URL in an EVAR, you can do that. If you want to match, if you want to clear out values in a prop that match certain criteria, you can you can get very, very granular, really control what stays in your data and what you clear out. So think of it, I mean, it's full data editing capabilities that you would have access to. And that isn't an add-on. It is additional to, so it is something that you need to contact your account team for. But something to to be aware of. This covers a lot, and I wasn't planning to get too deep into it because customer journey analytics is new to many of you. But the question that you asked about Derive Dimensions is in this second bullet here, improve data flexibility. So allowing you to one of the things. So I am not sure that I will be able to explain the Derive Dimensions piece well enough, but one of the things that's so powerful here is if you think about calculated metrics today in Adobe Analytics, they're great, but they're limited in a lot of ways, right? You can't they don't run at each, they don't run for each individual row or each individual visitor. They're calculated, it's sort of segment them, of course, but that only goes so far. There are limitations around how they get attributed. There are limitations. You can't use them in certain visualizations, such as the cohort table or histograms or so on and so forth. With customer journey analytics, you'll be able to build metrics into your implementation that are calculated, but they become actual metrics, and they're calculated at report time, and they function just like regular metrics. And so imagine being able to do all of those things with your calculated metrics. That's what we're aiming to allow you to do on top of all of the other things that we've done in customer journey analytics. And then last thing, and this is I think the end of what I've got for you. I know we're coming up on time soon. Is allowing you right now, all of this would be, let's say in either Adobe Analytics, in Adobe Analytics Ultimate, or in Customer Journey Analytics, if you wanted to stitch on one field, and if that field doesn't exist, stitch on another field, and if that doesn't exist, stitch on another field as kind of your identifier. So like, if customer ID exists, stitch on that. If it doesn't exist, then stitch on email ID. And if that doesn't exist, stitch on ECID, something along those lines. So like a hierarchical stitching capability, and farther down the road, we're stitching by household or by business rather than just by person. So those are all things that we're thinking about in 2020.
Yeah, another
I'm sure there are some
came
questions
in.
there.
Any plans on building a direct connection with Tableau?
Sort of. So with traditional Adobe Analytics, we haven't done that, and there's a whole history. We had an integration with Data Warehouse. We've since rebuilt our API in a way that I think we hadn't been able to do a direct integration with Tableau because our API didn't play well with Tableau. If memory serves, it's been a few years since I looked into it, but if memory serves, that was the case. We've since rebuilt our API, and we haven't yet had a chance to revisit that topic, but I think it's something that I would love to see that happen. It's not something that I would say is super imminent, but that doesn't mean that it won't happen. I think the community has built a Tableau integration. I can't remember who or where to tell you to go look for it, but someone I think built something. Obviously we hope to productize that at some point. What I can tell you, and I do not want this to sound like a sales pitch, but I know that there's a part of Adobe Experience Platform called Query Service, which allows you to query all of your data in AEP. That tool does integrate directly with Tableau, and since if you have Customer Journey Analytics or Adobe Experience Platform, your Adobe Analytics data will automatically flow into it. That is a way to integrate directly into Tableau, like in the way that I think you probably mean. So it's a good question. This is just meant to indicate that this is just a little subset of everything that we're thinking about and working on in 2021. But I'm going to unshare since we're almost at time. And were there other questions?
Yeah, I believe that's about it
in the chat, or is that about it? Okay. Well, hopefully that was informative and exciting. I'd love to, at a future time, would love to have everyone's thoughts on it, but I know we're almost at time, so I'll hand it back
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ben. This was
team.
amazing. And so on the wrap up, there's a couple cool things that's going to be happening. And Kelsey, I'll actually let you talk because you have some fun info to share with us.
Yes. So thanks for that introduction. And thanks again, Ben, for joining the official kickoff for the Analytics User Group Program. Everyone, my name is Kelsey Bork. I manage user groups for Adobe Experience Cloud. I've been at Adobe for about 2 years, where initially I set up the framework for the Marketo User Group Program, which we now have 91 chapters globally, and that program is thriving. So the thought is now to bring that framework over to analytics. This program really arose from the need of analytics customers who are looking for more opportunities to engage with other users and connect with experts globally like Ben. So we're really thrilled to finally have this program in place and be able to provide that platform for you guys to connect. So I definitely encourage each of you to continue checking out the User Group Hub, which is Bevy Labs. That's what we work off of, and that's where you found this event page. There's going to be many other user group meetings offered regionally. We have 6 regional chapters, and there's always going to be a meeting hosted in a time zone that works for you, whether you're located in North America or elsewhere beyond. So if that's not incentive enough, we also will be raffling off swag and gift cards and other goodies starting today. So during the meeting, I pulled the attendee list and put it into a raffle generator. So for our first $25 Amazon gift card, we are going to be giving that to Mitchell Teixeira. So you are our first winner.
Woo! Awesome.
And I'll be reaching out with that gift card. But Gretchen, Sarah, Luke, thanks for having me. And I look forward to many more of these meetings to come. So back to you.
Awesome.
Yep. So Ben, are you still on? We do have one more question.
Don't go yet, Ben.
I'm still here.
Okay. Is it still the case that only mid data gets ported to AEP?
Whew, someone knows their stuff. That is generally still the case. If we had more time, I would love to dive deeper into that one and understand what you want to do. Maybe the thing to do, if you don't know my colleague Dave McNamee, he is the product manager for the data connector that sends data from Adobe Analytics to Experience Platform. I know he has a lot of thoughts on, and some of you, this terminology may not make sense. Don't worry, it's not you. It's confusing and very esoteric, but I know he has a lot of thoughts on mid values versus pre versus post. And if you don't know Dave, I'd be happy to connect you, whoever asked that question.
Yep. So I'll send you a follow-up question on that one. So
that's great.
Cool. So yeah, so our plan is to have one of these events every other month to start off with. So March will be the next event month. So keep an eye out for the event page to go up. And right now the topics are cleaning up those schedule reports. So that's something Gretchen has been doing lately. So that's near and dear to her heart. Intelligent alerts. So Ben talked about those, and Luke wants to talk about those as well. And you know I love collecting the data. So kind of keeping an eye on the implementation is something that I would like to talk about. And if you guys have items you like to talk about, I think Kelsey said that there will be a survey going out afterwards, or hit Gretchen or Luke or me up on LinkedIn. Just send us like, hey, I want to talk about this topic, or if you want to present, we'd love to have you talk about what you're doing and present some stuff. So totally hit us up for that kind of stuff. And then definitely not least, but last, is Summit is coming up in April, and it's virtual again this year, and it's April 27th and 28th. And so you can go out to summit.adobe.com/NA and sign up to get alerts when more information is released. So yeah, Kelsey, Luke, Gretchen, Ben, any last parting words?
No, I just want to appreciate, thank everyone for attending. Really appreciate all the information, Ben. I learned more and more every time I hear you speak.
That's very flattering. Thank you, Luke. That means a lot, honestly. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you to start us off. So
We'll do it again sometime.
I'll take you up on that.
All right.
Awesome.
Do it. Bye, everyone.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.